expand your mind. Drugs may give you a little pleasure now, and you trade that for a lot of pain later.
No, I'm on the raw.
You are?
I'm a crack addict.
You're a crack addict. You still are then?
Yeah.
So, if you had it today, you'd smoke it right now?
I smoke it every day.
Okay, so how do you feel about that?
I'm getting sick of the routine that I'm doing. I like the euphoria. It's like somebody that has a hankering for scotch, right, or somebody that likes to rum. There's a time and place for it, right?
Okay.
I have nothing, my friend. I'm kicked out of the gospel mission. I'm living on the street. I've justified it by having nothing better to do. But I'm sick of it now, Fred. I don't want to live like this anymore.
In your heart of hearts, if you could turn a switch tomorrow and not be using crack, would you turn it?
No, I would. I like it so much that I will never give it up.
I know one particular person who actually went to talk to a lady that was drug using, and he actually sat down and had a discussion with her and asked her if she wanted out, and she basically said, "No, I don't."
Yeah, I've had that conversation with a friend of mine.
Yeah, I don't.
Haven't seen him for a long
want
time.
her. Along with that package of drugs comes stealing and doing other things which are not okay by other people's
Catching
standards.
all those guitars that fall off the back of a truck.
Yeah,
I had a friend.
And then I'm saying, do I have all the answers? No, I don't. But I do think I love the statement that one writer wrote. I think it was Grant Cardone, and I think he said in his book, he said, nothing opens up opportunity but the willingness to ask.
Yeah.
And I think that by asking you find out, and at one point they may not be ready, at another point they will be ready, but when they do we catch them, right? Can we catch them at that point?
Yeah.
Right?
And do they want to be caught?
Yeah.
My friend Jeff, I asked him if you could be 100% free of your addiction to meth tomorrow and be totally drug free, would you want that? And I got the answer that he just liked that high so much he didn't care. He just wanted to get high. That was his answer. And I've made a video of that actually a long time ago. Very eye-opening to me. But because the guy was homeless. He'd been homeless for something like 5 years. His family wouldn't have anything to do with him. Now I have to say I've seen him at the health unit maybe a year ago, and he seemed to be doing much, much better. And I gathered from a conversation I had with him then that he was talking to his family again and stuff, and he didn't seem to be using drugs as far as I could see. So things can change as people grow up. Maybe if they lose a few of their buddies to drug overdoses, they see the light or something. Something can turn them around, but it seems to take a lot sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What is also important to me is the person who is seeking information or taking that information and doing something with it that is positive for them in their life.
Yep.
Sometimes I think that those people are kind of like the sleepers. They're preparing, right, for the time when they're really going to rock it. And that time will come for them because when nothing opens up the opportunity but the willingness to ask.
Right.
And so, you ask and you find out something, and then it changes this parameter of your life. But we all have four things we want. We all want health, right?
Yeah,
We all want wealth. We all want love.
yeah,
We all want happiness. I mean, those four things are things that everybody wants. And
they
Tai
are.
Lopez is right about that, right? It's an obvious observation, right? That people want these things, right? Or
Yeah,
that we hope that people want these things, right? Wealth and different things, like in friendships, for instance. Somebody
yeah.
you can talk to till 12 in the morning, eh, Fred?
I think if you can have hope, that's an important component here. Like if you think that it is possible that your life can change, can get better, can get comfortable, you can find love, whatever. If you have the hope, then your chances of getting there are much much higher. It's when you've totally given up that the drug option maybe looks like a worthwhile way to go. Uh, Hope is so important. And I think one of the problems in our society is the job, okay? The concept of the job, the big factory, the production line, chunking out widgets as fast as you can and getting a decent paycheck, and that supports a certain kind of a lifestyle. That when that is not an option, people can go into a downward spiral. And there are only so many widgets required in the world and so many factories to make widgets. So all these people who are looking to make a living that way, uh, a certain high proportion of them are doomed that they're not going to make it, because and it's not a very satisfying lifestyle in the first place. Um, and a century ago, the people were much more entrepreneurial because we didn't have all these big companies and big structures that hired people to do whatever they did. And today, people haven't learned to make their own job. That's a problem. People haven't learned that, hey, there's no jobs. I got to make a job. I got to go do something. I got to figure out what it is I can do that I can sell to Joe Blow, whoever, and make enough money to make a living. Um, and and they don't think it's possible. It's sort of ingrained in some people that this is impossible for them. They're not smart enough. They're not creative enough. They're not this or that. And it's a tragedy. It is a tragedy that they feel that way. It
Well, I
limits
think
their
it's a matter
horizons.
of also economics, right? In terms of you need the bread on the table this Tuesday, but you haven't. Uh, the ambience of the environment around you, if it is negative and hostile, and always shelling and bombing somewhere, and one can get caught up in the turmoil
Yeah,
of the environment versus sitting down with a cup of coffee in the quiet and reading a book on enterprising stuff, reading material, going to YouTube and looking at videos on how to do different things. Like I've been banging my head up against the wall trying to figure out how to do one particular thing when all I really needed to do was Google it because it's there.
right.
But what I find is some people are very wordy in their explanations on YouTube videos without necessarily getting to the point sometimes.
Yeah, you have to sift through
Yeah.
them to find the one that
Yeah.
gets to the point. Yeah, I've noticed
Yeah.
that myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there is a fountain of information out there. It's so wonderful to have that resource, and it's so great for the people who create those videos too, because they're providing a worthwhile service and they're getting a fulfillment out of it. That's my video for today. Hope you enjoyed it. Please like, share.
share, and subscribe, and